Special guests in studio. The B-Boy Federation of Salt Lake City. They're at the Wagner Performing Arts Center tonight and tomorrow night doing a show called They Reminisce. And we have Josh and Josie in studio. Hello.
Hey. How are you?
Hey, guys.
Can I call it? I don't know if I'm like, I remember back in the day when somebody would pass me the break ball and I would know what to do with it.
Okay.
But is what you do called break dancing still?
So breakdancing is actually a media coin term. So the term that we use is b-boying or b-girling or even breaking. So breakdancing was a term that they had that just made it easy for people to understand, you know, what the dancers were doing at the time when it was really new.
So I like Walter Cronkited it up. I whitewashed it for the people. That's my bad.
Breakdancing.
Now, how did? And I might be jumping ahead here, but like I've seen Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, it's tight.
I've seen Breakin', and I've seen You've Got Served. And I don't know when it happened that you could dance awesome in front of someone and insult, and that was an insult.
An insult?
Yeah.
It's actually, so this is something really unique to breaking, and even a lot of other hip hop dances, like popping, for example, it's meant to sort of be this argument or this discussion between two people within what we call the battle. So the idea is, you think you're better than me, I think I'm better than you, you know, and we're going to dance, breakdance fight, right? To sort of settle it. But I mean, it's kind of a really complicated thing because it's artistic and it's subjective. What it comes down to is like, you have to convince me that I've lost, and you and I can battle until one of us gives up, essentially.
It really is something that crosses all. You know, we talk a lot about language barriers,
right,
you know, between countries and people and whatever, but dance is really the thing that everybody can understand. So if you want to insult somebody from, say, France and you don't speak the language, you can just like throw out a mean helicopter on them,
right,
and then served.
Great.
Yeah.
Right.
Breakdancing came about from like South America, and they did like capoeira, which was a martial art, and then they disguised it as a dance, and then they all came to New York. And they were doing this dance, and it could be a martial art as well. And then it just morphed into like breakdancing.
It has a lot
and
of
specifically
influences.
a dance.
A lot of the origins came from it's just the Bronx, and a lot of like the different cultures that were mixing in the Bronx, and they would get together at parties. And basically, what happens when you have a bunch of teenage kids and boys, basically at parties, is they try to outdo each other. And so,
and also like spit in the punch and put their balls on the potato chips,
and like throw sand in girls' hair and stuff like that. And so, you know, all these guys would get together, and it was just a way to sort of create something new. And I mean, they're broke; they didn't have anything, you know. Right. So you have someone who has a sound system, and they throw a party, and you're going to go to this party, and then some guy, you know, spins down to the floor, and then the guy's like, "No, I got something more than that." So he'll spin down to the floor and add something to it, and then the next guy, and then before you know it, you know, 40 years later, people are flying around the room. Now,
did you grow up here in Salt Lake in that environment where you went to those kinds of parties? Because that didn't happen in Bethesda, Maryland, where I grew up.
No, I actually did. I grew up, my parents were in the military. My father was in the military. And so we ended up in Logan, Utah in like 93. And so I didn't actually start dancing till probably 99, randomly. So around 99, a lot of like, you had like the Rapper's Delight video and a lot of other music videos were starting to incorporate b-boying into it. And so at the time I was like, tight, I'm going to learn this and meet girls at dances.
Right.
And I'll be that guy that has those two moves to get girls.
Now, did it work for you? By the way, we're talking to the members of the B-Boy Federation. They got a show tonight and tomorrow night at the Wagner Theater. We're going to tell you all about that in a second. Did it work getting girls, or were girls like, what's happening here?
Okay, so here's...
Like, this is not how we slow dance.
Here's the trick of b-boying. This is the thing that I think is way funny, is for the first 3 years that you dance, you could probably get girls with it because that's what you're focused on. If you dance longer than 3 years, you become really obsessed with it, and then it destroys your relationship aspects altogether because now you're practicing 5 days a week for 5 hours a day. Yes, you don't have time for girls. Now when the girl comes in the circle to dance with you, you're like, yo, get out of the way. Like, I'm trying to do this thing.
I'm doing my thing. I've been working on this for weeks.
It works for a little while, and then it works against you.
And then like Josh, like I really appreciate that you can do the helicopter like 14 times in a row, but at some point you need to learn a trade.
Yeah, basically.
Tell us about the show tonight. It's called They Reminisce.
The show. It's
Hi, Josie.
Hi, Josie.
It's a really fun, energetic production that takes you on a journey through 3 eras. We start in the origins, which is the beginning. It all started with the DJ. Then we go to the golden era, which is the 90s. We have the house dancing 90s. And the new jack. Basically, a lot more funk influences.
And do you guys have a dude that can just do a flip from a standing position? Just backflip?
Yes. We have a couple guys, and I love that we have those guys because I don't do that flip.
You guys have acrobats.
Yeah, it's great.
And gymnasts.
It's great.
Tell me about another preposterous physical move that you guys can do that nobody else can.
Okay, so this is like one of my favorite things. There's a move. So when b-boying started, it was, you have what we call power. And power is spin moves, head spins, windmills, flares. So b-boys took flares from gymnastics, the Thomas flare.
Mm-hmm.
In the late 90s in California, a move got invented called the air flare. And it's really hard to explain. It's imagine if you were in a handstand, but you have to reach around yourself in the handstand. It's a blind throw, blind catch. It's a really, really difficult move. Yeah. If you see it, it just looks like some dude is flying around the room, basically. And it's a really, really difficult move. Well, a few years ago, the Ham brothers, gymnasts, met some b-boys, saw some of the things they were doing, and actually decided that they were going to learn the move. So one of the Ham brothers actually learned air flares.
They traded secrets.
And it actually got submitted to the IOC, and so the air flare is an actual Olympic-level gymnastics move that you can do now.
What a bizarre connection from b-boying into the Olympics.
Right, so we took a move from gymnasts, and then 30 years later, they took a move from us, and then now I believe there was a Russian gymnast or a Ukrainian gymnast in the last Olympics who did it in his routine. And
when is breakdancing, b-boying going to become an Olympic sport?
So that's a hard thing to say, right? Because
wait, this is actually being considered?
Yeah, it's actually, people have tried to push for this, and what's difficult is breaking is really athletic, but it's also the core of it as a dance and as an art. And so the problem comes into, if I say I'm going to put regulations on, what is considered more valuable from a points level over something else, it gets really
subjective.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
Do you guys free run and parkour?
So there are some kids in the scene who parkour.
Yeah.
See, I try to do as little jumping over, off of, or around things as
Buildings.
possible. Right.
Yeah.
I'll try to do like some footwork and some dancing, and then as I age, the less is more.
Well, look, there's people doing flips around you.
But if you're on cardboard, you're totally protected from everything.
Cardboard is so rough to dance on. It's way slippery. I would watch like old footage of guys dancing. I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to dance on that.
We kind of got to hustle. This has been really, really interesting. You know a lot about dancing, and I appreciate you. Can I say kicking the knowledge our way?
Oh, there you go.
No, this was really cool. If you guys dance as well, half as well as you talk about it, then this is going to be a great show. It's
Walter
tonight.
Cronkite signing off with the kids.
tomorrow night at the Rose Wagner Performing Arts Center. Details on bboyfed.com. Is that right? Is there anything else we need to throw out there?
No, it's on there.
And we also posted it on the FML Facebook page if you want to just check on there.
Go there.
And look, I know this seems insane, but the combination of b-boying and ice skating, that is something I would
We have a
watch.
friend that does that.
No.
That sounds terrifying.
The homie Gev
Yep.
actually does that.
People would
really
die.
Cool to watch.
See, I would die. That's one of those things. We talked about the things that I don't do. That's one of those
There's
things.
blades involved.
Yeah, that's like.
All right. Cardboard on ice, also not good. Josh, Josie, thank you so much for coming in. We're going to actually have you go into the conference room, and you're going to do a little video for us, and we'll post that online as well. Thanks again. Go to the show tonight. Coming back, we have Royal Blood tickets for you on Alt 94.9.